Today, we'll be teaching when exactly we can use the forced unwrap variable. While declaring itself, we should force unwrap variable sometime. Basically, you could see the example of this one when you were creating an outlet in iOS programming. So people get confused when exactly we can create uh, the optional or the forced unwrap variable. So I'll deep in deep dive into that. So let's start with the two classes I have here. One is house class that has a name, and the rent. Rent is a class again. So because rent contains so many things, it contains security deposit, maintenance, monthly rent. So for the class house, if I rent it, I have a house, and if I want to rent it, then I'll get some money from that. So that will be decided upon the rent by the rent class. If I want to stay in that home, if I want to stay at that home, that's my house, so I won't be paying any rent. So it could be nil also. That's why that rent property is kept as nil. So in that condition, the class house looks perfect. Rent, there are some default fill we have provided, so we can change that later on also. So we'll deep dive. Let's try to get the rent of my rented house. Rented house. This is a type house. Rented house. So what my planning is, whenever I'm getting some rent uh, from my house, so what I will do is I will deduct 900. Then because that amount I need to spend, even though he's staying in my house, I need to spend 900 for the water bill. So what will be the exact amount I'll be getting? So first I'll try to get the rent of that one. House will be rented house dot rent. So it is a property of rent, which is an optional, because we have declared is optional. Either it could have rent or not. Now what I wanted to do is I want to deduct 900 for water bill. After after deducting water bill. Okay, so rent of my house, monthly rent. I'll copy this, monthly rent minus 900. 900. This is my, but when I'm trying to do this, what exactly is happening is it's asking me to force unwrap this variable. Okay, that is fine. I have unwrapped it. Sorry, I have to use this variable because this is my rent house. Okay, I have unwrapped it. This is fine. Then again, there are some extra amount I get from the top floor. So for top floor amount would be monthly rent minus 900 plus 2% of the rent. 2% of the rent. Okay. I could see okay, I could see cannot convert. Okay, fix this. This is an integer, I need to fix it. I have forced unwrap one place, two place, three places. And when I'm saying I'm forced unwrap means it could crash anytime if I get nil in this variable. So what is the best way to fix this? So one of the thing that this is my rent of my house. Suppose this is my own house. Consider that my own house. This is my own house, right? My own house. So here I don't have any rent amount because I am staying there, so I won't be paying any rent for that. So this is be nil. So fulfill this property that it could also be nil. I have kept it as nil. But when I'm trying to get rent, every time it's asking me to force unwrap, which is not a good way. For every calculation, we need to force unwrap. So avoid this is I'm sure that I'll be getting rent. What I'll do is I'll force unwrap here. Force, then I don't need to use this. Okay. Okay, there could be one more scenario where I am feeling that here monthly rent will not be nil. But there are some places, suppose top floor people are not that great, so they don't pay the rent on time. So sometime this could go to nil. So what I'll do is just to, because I'm just considering one calculation out here. There could be 10 calculation like this, plus minus. But for top floor, I am thinking that it could lead to nil also. But I have already forced unwrap it. So what I'll do is for this I'll check. For this I can do this. If temporary. Oh, same like optional. This is a perfect way. So instead of checking for each and everything, wherever I am sure, I can directly use the first unwrap variable. When I'm feeling that number of those lines are more, I can directly force unwrap at the top. That is the main intention of this one. Okay. Uh, so it is the monthly rent. Sorry, I did a mistake here. Monthly rent. Monthly rent. I was quite clear. The problem comes is when this class is declared by someone else in your team, thinking that rent could be nil. Now you can't change this class, so you have to manage yourself along with that. But you don't want to write the same code multiple times. You don't want to force unwrap multiple times. So in that case, forced unwrap comes into the picture, and it works very perfect. Thank you. Hope you understood it.